Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community, where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are talking about that preparation phase, the most important part, well, one of the most important parts. Packing your bags. What the heck do you bring on a Disney cruise? That is what we're focused on. So grab a pen and paper so that you can pay attention to this and know what to put in your bags and maybe what not to, and maybe some things that you would have never thought to even pack in the first place. But as you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious if it's cold by folks like it has been here, or if it's actually warming up. But as people are coming in, Megan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So hi everyone. Uh-oh. Am I echoing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ooh, there we go.
Okay. So my name is Megan Farwell. I'm a travel agent with Waves and Wonder Travel, and we have been on tons of Disney cruises. I'm obsessed with Disney cruises, so it works out that I'm a travel agent. And I have 3 kids. They're currently 12, 10, and 5. We've been on all the Disney ships, sailed most of the itineraries, so super experienced with Disney cruising. And I'm proud to say that I'm an underpacker. I have basically got my packing very streamlined, but I know a lot of people we get questions all the time in the group about, can I take this? Should I take this? So I thought this was a good topic to give people a lot of advice. So
a good topic to give a lot of advice. So
absolutely. I was going to say, I actually have my pen and paper here too, because I am a chronic overpacker. I'm like, yes, I will need 87 dresses for this 3-night cruise. That definitely makes sense. So I am very excited to get some of your tips here. And it seems like we have some friends watching from New York and California, somebody from Puerto Rico. That's so
nice.
Yes. So Massachusetts, Chicago, my hometown, Chicago, best town, dare I say. But I am so excited for some of your tips here because I need them. So as we're going through, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments and we will do our best to get to those. But as always, the best thing to do is reach out to Megan. Her planning services are actually free for you to utilize. So she can help you plan your cruise, not just the packing portion, but that onboard fun, port adventures. She is a mom of 3, so it helps with knowing how to coordinate and travel with kids of all ages. Because you traveled with your youngest when she was she 6 months?
Yeah, she was 9 months.
9 months. Yeah. So if you're looking to pack for babies, you're looking to pack for adults, we've got you covered today. But that is Megan's email up on screen, and I'll get her link to her page on the DCL community site in the comments for everybody as well. But what do you say? Should we dive in?
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
All right. So I think this is probably one of the most important things, because if you forget this, you cannot sail. You can't get on the ship.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do the essentials and documents first. So for most cruises, you can technically sail with just a birth certificate and a photo ID, which would be like your driver's license. Passports, though, are definitely recommended just because you never know if something happens when you're in port, if you need to be evacuated off the ship for a medical reason. That's going to make your life so much easier to get back to the United States if you have your passport. So I always highly recommend to have passports. However, for most cruises, if you're leaving from a U.S. port and then also returning to a U.S. port, they call that a closed loop. Typically, you can sail with just your birth certificate and a photo ID. Kids don't need a photo ID. They just need the birth certificate. So that's like the most important thing. Do not forget those.
Yeah, so true.
And then cruise documents, that's going to be your port arrival form that comes to your email. You can print it out, or so it's going to have a QR code that you scan. So you can print that out and have it with you. I just save it in my Apple Wallet, and they can scan it directly from your phone. It's super easy. And then luggage tags, they typically send starting around a month before the cruise. Sometimes it can be up to, you can get them the day before you cruise. You just never know. And sometimes they don't send them at all. That happens a lot. So they do have stacks and stacks of luggage tags at the port. So if you don't get them, it's not the end of the world, because they can just give those to you at the port. But if you have them, just bring them. And then credit cards and cash, travel insurance info if you purchase travel insurance, and then the Navigator app, which is Disney Cruise Line's app. And that's going to be like your best friend when you're on the ship, because it's going to have the schedule of all the activities. Basically, everything you need to know while you're on the ship is going to be in the app. So that's kind of like an overview of, just
the must-haves.
the must-haves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think something most people don't realize is the app looks totally different once you're on
Right.
the ship. So
Mhm.
once you connect to the Wi-Fi, the complimentary Wi-Fi, or if you want to pay for it, the app is going to change and you're going to see so much more. So having that downloaded ahead of time, it's going to remove some headaches. And we do have a couple of questions already.
Mhm.
Do you take your passports with you off the ship at the ports?
I do not. When you get off the ship at the port, all they need is your key to the world card or your magic band. So that's basically because the ship has already like documented your whatever you want to call it, your ability, your like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. But anyway, the port trusts the ship, that you're allowed to be there basically. So you don't need your passports to get on and off the ship. So I don't take them because I'm always paranoid I'm going to lose them when I'm in port. So I just leave them on the ship. They have safes in the room, so you can leave them in there. So that's what we always do.
Yes. And then you just bring like your photo ID for security at the port to get back on, like a driver's license or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we do too. And I know people always think like worst case scenario, well, what if something happens and I need to get evacuated from an island? Ideally, I would say you're not alone and someone can always go back to the ship to get the passports. Make sure whoever you're sailing with knows the key to the safe. But in those circumstances, the stateroom host can also help.
Right.
But yeah, bringing the passport around. Whenever I have it on me, my anxiety always goes up like tenfold. And then it's making the point, if you're not American, you need a passport for cruises out of America. Yes, a good one. And then let's see, what was that other one? Oh, someone's asking if you have experience with international cruises as well as, I guess, cruises from America. You have clients who have done them, or have you done them?
I have not specifically cruised like the European cruises. However, I've been to most of the port areas just through other travels. So we've been to like 10 countries in Europe. So I've got experience with a lot of countries and like train travel and getting around those countries, even though I haven't specifically been on a cruise to those countries, I guess you could say. So
yeah, I was going to say the best part of those cruises are always the ports anyways.
Right.
So, or dare I say, I could be speaking out of turn there. That's at least my opinion. But let's keep on rocking that carry-on. People are always seem to stress about this. So I'm so glad that you included this in here.
Yeah. So this is the bag that you're going to keep with you when you get to the port. You're going to hand off most of your, like what would be like a checked bag on an airline, the bigger suitcases. You're going to give those to porters right when you get out of your car. They'll take it from you basically immediately. And then they will load it on the ship and deliver it to your stateroom. So you don't have to carry around your big bags, but you do want to keep at least one bag that has a few things in it. We always bring swimsuits and cover-ups because my kids like to swim as soon as we get on the ship. Sunscreen, sunglasses, medications, especially if you have stuff that you have to take during the day, because there's no guarantee of when you'll get your luggage back at your stateroom. So you definitely want to make sure you have anything that you need, like I would say for that whole day, just because you never know. Valuables, electronics, your passport and ID, obviously, because you need that to get on the ship. We bring water bottles to fill up. They have water stations. They have pop stations, so you can fill it up at either of those. And then drinks is another one. So you're allowed to bring on, I don't know, I can't remember the exact amounts, but like I think it's 2 bottles of wine per person. Is it 6 or 12 beers per person?
6 beers, yes.
And then like unlimited pop and water and all that. So, but that has to be in your carry-on. You cannot put it in your checked luggage. So if you have any of that, that has to come in a carry-on bag as well.
Yes, and it's got to be factory sealed, nothing that's popped open. Not that I would think that anybody's drinking on the way to the port. You might be.
They're getting the party started early. You never know.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And speaking of party started, it seems like so many people are boarding in the next 2 weeks. So we have lots of thank yous for doing this. So I'm glad that we're doing this for everybody as well. And there seems to be some confusion about who you're giving your bags to. Can you talk through like once you get out of your car or off the Disney transfer, I guess? Yes.
There's going to be cruise port workers. They're called porters. And they will be basically lined up on the sidewalks when you're getting out of your vehicle. They have huge luggage carts. and they will take the bags, the bigger, larger checked luggage from you, and then they roll it onto the ship and put it into your state or deliver it to your stateroom for you. So it's basically just a convenience so people aren't dragging around huge heavy suitcases while they wait for the rooms to be ready. So yeah.
Oh, and that's a good point. What time are the rooms typically ready?
Usually 1:30 p.m. It can be later, but usually it's 1:30.
Yeah, and I know as a mom, nap time is something that is factored into schedule. So when you're choosing your port arrival time, you might want to choose one that's a little bit later so that you can definitely get in right away, get into your stateroom, and then take a nap. That's definitely an important thing to consider. And somebody's asking, yes, they do work for the port. They'll have a uniform on at Port Canaveral. I want to say it's like a red shirt, if I'm remembering properly. You'll see them
since I've cruised out of Port Canaveral. So I know we just went from Fort Lauderdale and they had white shirts on. So yeah, but they all have the same outfit on. You can't miss them. I mean, and they'll come up to you too. It's not like you have to find somebody. They will meet you at your car immediately. So it's very easy.
And someone's asking if they can bring their bag with them. If it's like a carry-on, like Megan's saying, maybe, but just remember, you're going to have to carry it around till your room is ready.
The other thing is you have to go through security at the port. So your bags have to fit through the security machine. So I was
like at the airport,
like a big checked luggage bag, I don't think would fit through. So I think they basically make you take it.
Yeah, so. I was going to say, you don't want to have to carry that around with you anyways. And questions about the luggage tag. Yes, if you don't get those ahead of time, don't stress about it. They will have plenty of those at the port for you. Okay, clothing. Oh, those Disney princess dresses are adorable. I seriously wish they made them for us big kids, but let's talk about clothing and accessories.
Okay, so some of this is pretty self-explanatory. Everybody's going to remember to take, clothes, all that type of stuff. But swimsuits and cover-ups, we always take at least 2 per person. So we have one that can be like drying and then one that we're wearing that day. A pirate night outfit, almost every cruise has pirate night. So that can be as simple as just like a themed t-shirt. They will give you a pirate bandana. So some people only wear that. Some people don't wear anything. So all of this, like for the pirate night or even like princess dresses and stuff, that's totally up to your comfort level. Some people don't dress up at all, and some people dress up every day or even have multiple dress up outfits per day. So it's just whatever you feel comfortable doing. And that goes the same for like formal night or even semi-formal. They have a formal night on, I think it's 7-night or longer cruises, but I don't dress up for formal night just because I'm not a dress type person. So we don't, but I think you said you do because you think it's fun. You don't dress up very often in real life. So it's totally up to you. Comfortable shoes and flip-flops because the pool deck gets very hot when it's in full sun. So we always make sure we have flip-flops or like water shoes even for our kids so they can keep them on in the pools. Costumes, so princess dresses, character outfits, pajamas, light jacket or sweater. I don't find it to be too cold on the ship, but a lot of people have said that they get chilly like in the dining rooms or in the theater. So if you want to bring something to throw on, you can. And then obviously hats or visors, that type of thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm always cold. I have a little space heater right here because even when it's like 60, 70 degrees out, I'm always freezing. So I know having a sweater, something easy for everyone to throw on. If you don't need it, at least you have it and you're not having to go to the gift shop. But something that I think, and you tell me if you agree or not, but I feel like most people don't know how casual it is most of the time. Like it's not hoity-toity.
No, I mean, it's very casual. Like you'll see a few people in like long fancy dresses, like on formal night. But for the most part, even dresses are typically like a shorter dress.
A sundress.
Yeah, a sundress. Like, and a lot of people you just see in t-shirts and jeans or t-shirts and shorts all the time too. So it's very casual for the most part.
Yeah, and you're spot on. I love dressing up for dinner every night just because I don't dress up very often in my normal life. So it's like my one chance to wear my dresses. But if you don't want to, some of my family wears a t-shirt and shorts to dinner. And we have this question,
Yeah.
can you wear jeans on normal rotational dining nights?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I will say, I don't advise anything with buttons because you're going to eat a lot and you don't want to be uncomfy. But if jeans are what you're comfortable in, wear what makes you happy.
Yeah. Bring this. Is it Friends where they talk about the stretchy pants?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, you got to have no hard pants, just
Right.
stretchy pants. Elastic is your friend on a cruise.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have a question for Pirate Night. Does the Wish give out bandanas? I think they do now.
Yes, I know there was a while that they weren't, but I'm pretty sure they are now. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they got the new bandana. Some of the other ships had the older design ones.
Yeah.
So you should be good on the Wish. And then I think they're still giving out the wands too. I could be wrong.
Yes, the Wish still does give out the wand when you board. Yeah.
Awesome. And then where was it? Oh, Kim was asking, can you talk a little bit about laundry? I heard they have laundry on board, trying to not pack as much.
Yeah. So I talk about it, maybe wait for a few slides because I do have some stuff on here about the laundry.
Beautiful. Then let's keep rolling.
Okay. So toiletries and like healthcare items. So toothbrush and toothpaste, razor, shaving cream. So I put down at the bottom, Disney provides shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and lotion in your stateroom in the bathroom. So those are things you don't have to bring. But obviously some people like specific things. So if you want to bring your own, you can. But if you want to save space, you can definitely just use what they have in the room. Makeup remover, glasses, contacts, and solution, first aid kit, pain relievers. So again, in the gift shops, they have like a little area that's like Tylenol, just like a little convenience store type setup of different toiletries and healthcare items. However, number one, it's expensive. And number two, there's definitely not a lot of selection. So I always recommend to bring whatever you usually use for that stuff. So I told Rebecca I have visual aids. So we just got this little pill organizer. So it opens up and it's got like all these little compartments that you can use for pills. So we use this to just bring like, 5 Tylenol and like 5 ibuprofen, just stuff like that we don't necessarily need a lot of, but we want to have it just in case. So yeah, there's all those different little sections. So you can bring a lot of different stuff and something like that. And then hair care and tools. So this is something that is kind of like, I put a picture on here of a Dyson Airwrap because there's a lot of questions about these type of things. So my advice is your mileage may vary with something like this because we've had a lot of reports of, yes, it worked, it was fine, and no, it didn't work. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I don't know if it's something with like the voltage in the room, but yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. It's so spotty. Some people are like, yeah, it worked on the Wish, and others are like, absolutely not, nothing worked. And
right.
I know there's different places you can plug things into too, and yeah, that one, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I would have forgotten to bring that up, but
yeah, but I see a lot of people ask about stuff like this, especially like these more powerful like hair tools. I just had another agent in my agency that went on the Treasure, and she said she thinks it would have worked in the room, but the way the plug is, it wouldn't plug into the wall in her room. So like she couldn't fit the plug in the plug, so she had to take it down, and she used it in the like locker room area, and she was able to use it that way. So she still was able to use it, but she just couldn't use it in the room. So that's just something to consider, is like, I would take it, but just be prepared that, and they do have hair dryers. So you would still have a hair dryer. You wouldn't have necessarily all the styling tools that go along with it. So
I was going to say, like, I have a regular hair straightener, nothing fancy, a regular, barrel curling iron.
Right.
And I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, I have it with me right now. But those have seemed to work for me.
Yeah. I've never had any problem with those either.
Yeah. So maybe just bring your originals before we got all fancy.
The old school stuff. Right.
Yeah. Bring it back. We have some questions about some things that you can't bring. We're going to be getting to that soon. And then another question, someone's excited about laundry. Okay. Never knew people could be excited about laundry. Laundry is my least favorite chore. So Let's
Okay.
dive into beach and port day essentials.
Yeah. So beach bag. So if this is your second or more cruise, you will be a Silver Castaway Club member and you will get the Castaway Club tote bag. So that's a perfect beach bag. It holds quite a lot. I was going to bring mine in and show it and I forgot. So, but it holds quite a bit. So we always use that as our beach bag when we go on the ship. We don't pack another one. Sunglasses, sunscreen, collapsible sand toys. So I put that on there because a lot of people like to bring their own sand toys. So but you can get them at ports and you can get them on the island. So this is, hang on just a second. One of the sand toy sets that you can get on the island. It's pretty affordable, I think, for a Disney item. It was like 20 or maybe 25 for that. And it comes with like 5 or 6 different little sand toys inside there. And this snaps together so it's all easily contained. So we usually just buy one of those every time we go because it's worth it for the space that it takes for us to just buy it there. And they have a couple different styles. They have one that looks like a little Disney cruise ship. It's super cute. And then they have one that's like just a big shovel that you can buy. So there's different options on the islands. And then, of course, if you're somewhere in port, like in Nassau or wherever, I'm sure you could get one easily there too. So a lot of people ask about sand toys. So that's why I wanted to talk about that. A waterproof phone case, although most iPhones are supposed to be waterproof now, I think, aren't they? It just always makes me nervous to like.
I think they're waterproof like up to a certain amount of feet of water in a certain amount of time. It's like waterproof with a little asterisk next to it. So
but they have those clear pouches, that you can just put your phone in that work pretty well.
I was going to say, I have one that I've used on a ton of different excursions in the water and it's worked super well. So if anybody needs one, let me know and I can happily send you that. I got it on Amazon and it's worked like a charm.
And then towel clips. So a lot of people use these on the pool deck. It just helps kind of show where you're sitting sometimes because you can get kind of turned. All the chairs look the same. All the towels look the same. So it can be kind of like, where did I put my stuff? Snorkel gear. So like the islands, Castaway Key and Lighthouse Key, they will rent it. So you don't have to bring it for that necessarily, but sometimes people just prefer their own snorkel gear. So like my husband always brings his own because that's one of his favorite things to do on the island. Water shoes and or flip-flops, which we talked about before, because the pool deck does get very hot when you're walking around. Cash for souvenirs or tips in port, and then an extra change of clothes to take in your bag as well. And then for life jackets, we get this question a lot. Disney does provide life jackets. They have them in like toddler size. And then I took pictures of it last time I was on the ship. I wouldn't say like huge adult size, but even like small adult size, I would say. And then they give you beach towels, so you can use those both on board and in ports. So you don't have to bring beach towels at all because they've got you covered on that.
I was going to say, save the room.
Yes.
You do not need the bulk of beach towels.
Right.
Disney has so many of them. And I do see the question about the best ship. So we actually did a video on that
Yes,
before.
we did.
So I would say go back to the DCL Community YouTube page and look for which Disney ship is best, or better yet, reach out to Megan, schedule some time and talk through what's going to be the best ship specifically for you and your family, because the best ship might vary a little bit.
It can be different for everybody for sure.
Yes. And then I know you mentioned tips, and we have a question now about do you still need to tip even though you prepaid gratuity? So maybe we can touch on the difference between who you're tipping outside of those prepaid and what the prepaid cover.
I would just say like if you're in port, it might just be more like your taxi driver or a tour guide, something like that. On the ship, really the only thing you would need it for is we always tip when we get room service. The room service is free, but we tip the person that brings it to us. And then like the porters that we talked about that take your luggage, we always tip those people as well. Other than that, I don't think so. I can't think of much else. For tips.
I was going to say those prepaid gratuities, those are just going to cover your head server, assistant server, and stateroom host. So anything else on board isn't going to be covered if you go to the spa, if you get a drink from one of the bars, room service. So you'll want to have cash on hand. For those things, of course, you can charge things to the room as
Right.
well. But like Megan's saying, anything outside of the ship. So
Mhm.
if you're going on a port adventure, right? We did a snorkeling one in Cozumel. The captain of the boat, the person helping us put our equipment on, that's who you're
Right.
tipping. And depending on the port, the currency that you have might vary slightly, but we typically just have American
Yeah.
US dollars.
I would say most places are perfectly fine with American dollars, especially in a cruise port, just because they're used to a bunch of American cruisers. So
Yes. And more questions about some potentially prohibited things. So we will save those. Let's talk kids and babies.
yeah. So first, I wanted to say what Disney provides. So you do not have to bring these items. They will have pack and plays, high chairs, bottle warmers, bottle sterilizers, diaper genies, strollers, and then they will do pureed foods like in the dining room or at the buffet. So there's a lot that you don't have to bring. And obviously, if with kids, you're already bringing so much. So definitely save the space and get these things from Disney instead of trying to bring your own, is my philosophy. And so I put a picture of what the pack and play is. Just a very standard pack and play, standard size. But for things they don't have that you do want to bring, bottles and sippy cups, baby food and snacks, formula, diapers, and wipes. So yeah, definitely bring more than you think you need. Of course, most moms know that. They do have diapers and wipes on the ship to purchase, and even formula, but it might not be, what your baby's used to or what you normally use. Swim diapers. So this would only be to use in the ocean, or if you happen to have a port excursion where your, baby or toddler could use those facilities, because on the ship you cannot use swim diapers. So that's kind of like an asterisk on that one. Small blanket or stuffed animal, a stroller, definitely compact, easy to fold, because the staterooms are very small and the hallways are very narrow. So please don't bring a huge stroller, because it's just a pain to use it on the ship, because the ship is just, small.
Yeah.
Baby and kid meds. So again, they do have limited of this in the gift shops, but you do not want to be in the situation where your baby needs a medicine and you don't have it. So we always bring just like the common stuff that we need, and then pacifiers. So yeah, that's pretty much babies and kids. It's so hard because you have so much stuff to pack and you're trying to remember everything. And when you're on a ship, it's hard too, because you're out there in the middle of the ocean. So like if you don't have it, where are you going to get it?
Trying to anticipate everything your kid could potentially need.
Yeah.
I swear, anyone who's traveling with kids should get like a Nobel Peace Prize for planning, because there's so much that goes into it. And if you are planning to do a cruise with kids, with toddlers, with babies, we also did a video on traveling with the littlest of cruisers. That's on the DCL community YouTube as well, and that goes into even more detail than this.
Yeah.
And someone's asking, I heard that you can get character sheets in your stateroom. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think this is I've seen a few TikToks about this recently. So I think it's kind of like a little secret that's kind of blowing up. Yes, it is possible. It's meant to be like a pixie dust thing. So it would just be like if your stateroom host just felt like, pixie dusting you. So you can request them, but there's no guarantee that they can do it, because there's just very limited number of sheet sets on the ship. So you can request it. Just be prepared that it might not happen. So
yeah, there's a limited amount. So don't promise your kid that it's going to happen.
Right.
No, don't do that. If it happens, great. And someone's asking, what kind of stateroom is that there's room for the crib? Do all rooms have room for cribs?
So this, it looks like, well, it's hard to tell if it's a family ocean view or a family veranda, because it's got the curtains over there. But this is what it's like a family designation. So it's got the fifth sleeper is actually right there where the pack and play is. So yeah, that makes a perfect space to put the pack and play, because normally if you don't have that space, you have to put it right here in front of the couch bed. So if you want one of those rooms, yeah, you can get one of those. It technically sleeps 5, but you don't have to have 5 to sleep in there. You can just book that room with less than 5 if you just want the extra space. So, but yeah, that makes a perfect spot for the pack and play.
Oh, great. And especially as a mom of 3, you know all about how to maximize space in these staterooms.
Family of 5, let me tell you, everything gets harder. Of course, I wouldn't change it for the world, but hotel rooms, it all gets harder when you have that 5th for sure.
Yes. Oh, man. You love them just the same.
Yes.
But there's definitely some additional math that comes into it.
Yes.
And somebody was asking about where was it? Can a baby sleep in the bed with you? Mine is a joint sleeper.
Yeah. I mean, if that works best for your family, that's totally fine. If you want to kick your husband into the couch bed right there, that's fine.
True.
Yeah. And I feel like the beds are queens, but like honestly, they feel a little bit bigger than queen to me. Every time I sleep on a cruise ship, I'm like, this feels bigger than a queen size bed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I'm like so happy to be on the Disney cruise ship. But
yes, you just feel like a king in it. Yeah. Oh, they are so gosh darn comfortable though.
They
Those beds are incredible. And somebody's asking, how do you request these things from Disney? I guess the Prohibited.
So a few of them. So pack and play and high chair, I believe, are the only 2 things that you can request in advance. So you would do that. There's a spot on your reservation where you can go in and make a note to request those things. And then the other things you would just ask your stateroom host once you get on board. So
beautiful.
Oh, and the stroller you have to get from guest services. Sorry.
Got it. That's a good point to make. And last question on this one is just, what about a nightlight? I heard the rooms get dark.
Yeah. So I actually have that on another slide as well.
Oh my gosh, you thought of it all. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, see, there we go, right there. So electronics, so phone and tablet chargers, portable battery packs, headphones or earbuds, camera and GoPro, so small night lights. So on the Wish and the Treasure, those are the 2 newest ships. They do have like a little small night light in the bathroom, which is really nice. But on the other ships, they do not have that. So yeah, you can get like those little small battery operated night lights to put in the bathroom, because when you get up to go in the bathroom in the middle of the night, it is like a glaring light in there when you turn it on. Yes. It's very bright.
Blinded by the sun.
Yeah. So it does make sense to have a little night light like in the bathroom. And then USB charging blocks, and then laptop or iPad. So one of the questions we see all the time is, what kind of like extension charger type thing can I bring? So basically the rule is you can't bring anything that gives you an extra outlet. So it can only have like these USB ports on it. So even if it has a cord, but it has the USBs, that's fine, as long as it doesn't have anything where you can plug in another regular outlet type thing. So
yes. Any of the extension cords, or you're not going to want to bring. I know people ask about like having lights on the outside of their door. Those all have to be battery operated.
Yeah.
We're not using, everybody wants you to be safe. Make sure you're unplugging things. And that's something people might not know about, like the lights in the room and how those work with the key card. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So on the older ships, which is the Magic Wonder, Dream, and Fantasy, right when you open the door, there's going to be like a little slot. Yeah, it's like a block on the wall, and you have to put a card in for the lights to work. So, and it's just like a energy saving type measure, I guess you could say. So we just always use like an old hotel key card. Any card will work.
Card.
Yeah. So just something to remember.
Yes. If you're wondering why your lights aren't turning on, that's probably
put the
why.
card in there. Yeah.
Yes. And then just keeping in mind what plugs in, like the outlet options can vary ship to ship too. So I would say make sure you have both the cord and the block, just like Megan is saying, just in case, because the configurations on what the outlets look like vary from ship to ship.
Yeah. And the older ships don't have a plug by the bed. So they're,
I think they have one.
There's only on one side of the bed. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they only have USBs over by the desk. And then I think there's one plug by the desk. Like there's not a lot of plugs or USBs in general. So we have one of these that has like 10 USBs on it, because we have obviously 3 kids. 3 phones in our family now that we're trying to charge, plus the magic bands you have to charge with USB. So there's just like a lot of charging that has to go on. So another thing that you can do also is all the ships have a like European plug. So you can bring a European plug that has USBs on it as well and charge things that way. So it's just like another plug space you can use if you have like a European converter plug. So
that's a good point. I actually need to remember that one for my next cruise because I'm stealing that one from you. That's awesome. Oh, that's so genius to store your ears. Why have I never thought of that?
So laundry and storage. So here's where we're going to talk about laundry. So collapsible laundry hamper. Yes. We put it in our closet. It fits perfectly. It keeps stuff off the floor. It's so nice. Travel size detergent or stain remover. So you can buy detergent in the laundry area, but it's just nice to not have to if you don't have to. So every ship has a laundry room or multiple laundry rooms. I think they have one like every deck almost, except for maybe the Wish and the Treasure, because I think the Wish and the Treasure just has like one huge one.
Yes.
But it's very easy to do laundry. You just use like either your Magic Band or your Key to the World card, and it charges it to your room. The app will tell you when your laundry is done, when you need to go switch it. So it's very easy. I love having laundry on the ship because, like I said, I'm an underpacker. So I will typically like if we do a 7-night cruise, I'll only take like 4 or 5 outfits probably, and then we'll do laundry because I don't want to take like 5 suitcases on the ship. So we always do laundry. And that's one thing I always tell people it's better about Disney over Royal Caribbean is Royal Caribbean does not have laundry rooms on the ship. So that's why we love Disney, is for the laundry rooms.
Yeah. There are so many reasons, but laundry is definitely one of them. And I hate doing laundry. It is my least favorite chore, but my family hates going home with dirty clothes more. So having the laundry done so that when you get home, all you have to do is unpack your clean clothes. Revolutionary. I just can't. Maybe one day I'll get there. Today
I don't do it on the way home. I just do it like in the middle, so it's not as bad. But no, I still take dirty laundry home. But so this is an over the door shoe organizer. So the thing about this is you cannot actually put it over the door. So if you have the hooks, you can see they had these 3 hooks in our room. So I just used the hooks for the organizer to hook it onto the hooks on the wall. Some people also use magnets to hang this up. You just can't put it actually over your door. So that's not allowed. But it is a great way to store stuff. Like I always roll up outfits for our kids and put like 1 outfit per day in each thing because there's not a ton of storage in the rooms. Like there's a decent amount of closet storage, but not a ton of like drawer storage. So it can be hard when you have a lot of people sharing one room, especially for like a 7-night cruise where you have, a lot of clothes and stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. I was going to say, you have to put on that mentality of remember when you were in college and in a dorm room where you could touch like all the walls at once. Think about storage for that. And granted, the Disney cruise staterooms are bigger than industry standard, but
they are.
Still, you want to be strategic. And same with shoes too. And George is asking, Megan, do you provide this packing list to all your clients? I'm sure you do this and way more.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yes. So get in touch with Megan. I'm going to add her link to the DCL community in the comments now. So get in touch with her and get to planning your cruise.
Yeah. And then, so can you go back to the other one real quick?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to talk about magnetic hooks because a lot of people ask about this or don't know. So all the walls in your stateroom are magnetic. The ceiling is magnetic and the doors are magnetic. So this is a great way to save space. We put up magnetic hooks and hang like our hats, our lanyards, just anything. And it saves so much because typically like you only have really one surface to put stuff, which is the desk. So the desk will just get covered in stuff.
Clutter.
Yes. So that's why we love the hooks because we can get stuff up on the wall and off of the desk. So
yes, I was going to say anything to not make clutter in the room. And I think something people do a lot of times is they'll get the itty bitty magnetic hooks on like Amazon that hold nothing.
Yeah.
Those are great for something super light, like maybe a hat or a lanyard. But if you're going to hang anything a little bit more substantial, you're going to want one of the hooks that maybe holds up to like 30 plus pounds just to have. And then make sure, I know we always get this question about like, can you stick things? There's no sticking.
No.
Just like Megan said, you don't want to have any damage in the stateroom. No over the door hangers, over the actual
No
doors,
stickers,
magnetic
right.
hooks. Yes.
No tape.
Okay. Oh yeah, no tape.
Okay. So this is like all of like the Disney stuff that you might want to bring. So the fish extender and gifts if you're participating in that. So this is our fish extender that I took a picture of on our last cruise. Because a lot of people are like, what is a fish extender? So it's basically just like a hanging pouch. So you'll see we have a pouch for like each member of our family. And then if you're in a fish extender gift exchange, people will come and deliver gifts and like put them in your little pouch thing. Autograph book and Sharpies. You could also bring like a photo mat or pillowcase if you want to use that for characters to sign. Door magnets. We bring door magnets. I think it's easier to find your door that way because there's like a hallway with a million doors. So it just helps you find it. Mickey ears. I always wear ears on the ship. Lots of people wear ears. So you're definitely going to see people with those. And then we bring glow sticks as well because they will sell like glow items for pirate night. So we just bring our own so that we don't have to pay like, $30 per item for each of our kids. So that's just one way we help,
that
save a little bit of money.
Tip from a veteran mom who has sailed before and knows what her kids are going to ask.
I'm telling you, go to the Dollar Tree. They've got those like 12 packs of glow sticks for $1. And then you can make like necklaces or bracelets or whatever. And kids are happy. So
yes, that checks that box. And let's see, where was it? Leslie's asking, what's the best fish extender gift that you've ever gotten?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
I will say don't feel pressured to spend a lot of money. But I did get a really awesome personalized tumbler one time. Ooh. I was in like an adult only gift exchange. So we only had to buy for like one other adult. So it wasn't like everybody in the cabin got one. So it was just adult to adult. And I got a really cool personalized tumbler. That was probably one of my favorite things.
Of that. Yes. And lots of questions about fish extenders. I want to know more. We might have to do another touch on that.
I think don't you have another video, I think, about fish extenders?
I think, yes, there might be one on the DCL community site. So definitely go to that one. Or as always, get in touch with Megan. Start planning together.
We always do fish miscellaneous. So I have lots of good ideas.
Yes. Love that.
Okay, miscellaneous items. So this was stuff I couldn't really put into another category. So travel mug or like a tumbler. Like I said, they have the water bottle stations. They have the free soda on the pool deck. Or in the buffet. So you can easily bring one of those and fill it up because the paper cups that they give you are pretty small for the water or the pop station. So we always bring one, carry it around for water or whatever. A white noise machine or app. We always use white noise in our room because if you have 5 people sleeping in one room, it definitely helps.
Yes, amen to that.
Books or Kindle if you're relaxing by the pools or in the adult only area. Dollar bills, like we talked about, like for cash tips for room service or that type of thing. A wet bag. So if you have wet swimsuits, especially like on the last day when you're going home, you might have wet swimsuits. Yeah. And then a packable duffel bag. So we have one that packs up super small like this, but it's fairly big when you open it because, like, of course you're going to shop when you're on the ship. But you're probably not going to get rid of anything. So you've got to have that extra bag to bring all your beautiful new souvenirs home. So
yes. I am so glad you said that. The last cruise that we did, I felt so bad. There was this family at the bag check at the airport, and they're just trying to shove their popcorn buckets into their suitcase, and it's over by so much. So that is genius to bring an extra bag to check or to carry on the plane. And I just have to say this is my PSA with the reusable water bottles that you're bringing. Make sure that you're using the little paper cups that Megan was saying to refill your bottle. Because if you're drinking out of yours and then you put where your mouth is up to the machine, that's how germs spread. So Disney just asks that everybody uses these smaller cups to refill your cups.
Fill up, yeah.
Just like Megan was saying, it takes an extra 2 seconds, and it hopefully helps keep everybody healthy and happy.
Right.
Just had to share that little PSA, but lots of questions on prohibited items. So I'm glad we're getting into this one.
So Disney has like a whole list on their website of stuff you can't bring. And most of it is, pretty self-explanatory, like knives, stuff like that.
Microwaves.
Right.
Please don't bring a microwave.
You would be shocked at some of the stuff. There's like the table of shame when you get off the cruise. And it's like all the stuff that they've confiscated before people got on the ship or whatever. And there's like, I think I saw like a crock pot one time. Like, no, I'm sorry, you can't bring your crock pot on the ship.
Yes. It was a nice try.
Yeah. So I just picked out what I was like the more standard stuff that you might not necessarily think, oh yeah, I can't bring that. So like electric blankets, heating pads, iron and or steamer, and extension cords or power strips. So those kind of all fall into the electronics thing. They're just worried about safety. It's all about like how much voltage is going through the room. It's like a fire risk type thing. So, because a fire on a cruise ship, no good. Yeah, so this is an example of one that you could not bring because it's got those extra outlets on it. So don't bring anything with extra outlets is the main, only USB ports. Pool toys, can't bring those. Can't bring like inflatable rafts or tubes or floats or anything like that. Streaming devices. So I actually just saw this. It might have been in your group. Maybe it was in a different group. Somebody was asking if they could bring their Switch and plug it into the TV. And it's like, no, you can't bring it. You're not supposed to plug anything into the TV. So no like Fire Sticks or anything like that. Perishable foods or opened non-perishable foods. So I hope that makes sense. So you can bring snacks that are factory sealed and non-perishable. So like the little individual bags of goldfish or things like that. Yes, you can bring those. And then blenders and coffee makers. I know a lot of people ask if they can bring like, because they have like protein shakes or things like that every day. You can't bring electronic blenders, but you can bring like, they have like the shaker blenders. You could bring something like that. So
yes, think about safety, think about overall safety, and you can probably back into what the right answer is. And I think you hit on most of the questions about what people were asking about that they couldn't bring. Irons. Somebody's asking about swords for pirate night.
So you can bring like fake plastic swords. That's okay. And that's on their like exceptions list. So they have irons in every laundry room. So you can go there and use one if you need to. And then heating pads. I know a lot of people use heating pads for like medical use. They do have those at guest services. You can like check those out and use those from guest services. So they do have them on board. You just can't bring your own.
That is such a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. And this is a great question. Can we bring service animals?
Yes. There's actually a pretty famous like Instagrammer that brings his service dog on cruise ships all the time. So yes, you can.
Yes. I was gonna say, and if you
even have like a little pet relief area somewhere. I've seen it like on deck 4, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that's appropriately themed for Pluto, which is adorable. But if you bring your service dog on with you for Halloween on the High Seas cruise, I'm going to go ahead and say that you should dress them up if they will let you.
Sure.
Because that gentleman, I think if it's the one you're thinking of, his dog's name is Belle, and she had all these different costumes, and she was just the goodest girl. Oh my gosh, so good. Oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. Man, we flew through that. Thank you so much for all these great tips. I think we got to everybody's. What about bringing swim floaties for your kids? My kids wear floats while they like to swim, or like to wear floats while they swim.
So the thing about like life jackets is they're supposed to be U.S. Coast Guard approved or whatever. So I would say like the little arm ones, it's probably kind of a gray area. They might let you do it, but I would be prepared for them to not. Like I said, they do have life jackets on board that go down to as low as like 30 pounds. So that's going to fit most toddlers. And especially because your kids have to be potty trained to go in the pools anyway. So I I would say the little arm floaties, I probably wouldn't. I would probably try to get them used to like a little, even if you want to bring your own life jacket, that's fine. But yeah.
Yes, you can definitely bring your own life jacket, and then that way you can bring it with you on different shore excursions, like if you're going to go snorkeling at a non-Disney port. So I like that tip.
Or puddle jumper is fine as well.
Oh,
puddle jumper is like the one piece type thing that a lot of kids use those as well. So
yes, good point there. And then what about switch for playing in the room while mom sleeps?
First of all, I like where your head's at, whoever.
Yes.
Yes. So as long as it's not hooked up to the TV, yeah, they can just use the handheld switch. That's totally fine. You just can't hook it up to the TV and play like on the TV.
Yes, I was going to say, plugging things in, again, just think about safety, think about the stateroom. And I know that people want to play games or watch their shows, but I promise they're all going to be there for you when you get back. Enjoy your time on board. You've been counting down to it. And this was a blast. I learned so much from you. And if you are ready to start planning your Disney cruise, please reach out to Megan. Again, her planning services are free. And if you work with her, you get all of this wonderful information and so much more. And it's that firsthand experience and knowledge of all of her cruises, traveling with her family, not just with Disney, but on other cruise lines too. So Megan, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.